Please be seated. Good evening in high summer from Manchester. My name is Tony Hegarty and I'm the Vice Dean and Head of the School of Medical Sciences. And I would like to welcome one and all to this graduation ceremony, and turning my attention immediately to the right of the hall, to the graduates, one and all, congratulations. We're extremely proud of each and every one of you. And as I'm sure everyone in the hall is aware, we have had to put a moratorium on face-to-face celebrations of our graduates. And thankfully that has come to a conclusion, and we are in a phase of pleasurable catch-up. And what I mean by that is that we are bringing together our graduates from 2020 and 2021. And of course that gives us immense pleasure for reasons that I will come to. To my left is faculty, brilliant faculty. I'm sure that the graduates will acknowledge the brilliant faculty because they got you where you are this evening, as well as your, of course, brilliant academic achievements. They wouldn't be possible without the way that these people have actually adapted to the enormous change that the faculty has had to undertake in order to deliver teaching from remote distances, which I know for many of you will have been frustrating, but was the only expedient way that we could do it and continue to pass on your education. And from my own perspective, and Margaret, who will come after me to speak, we collectively are immensely proud of the contributions that were made by our graduands and graduates through the times which have been extraordinarily hard over the last 2 years. We are, in fact, coming out of a pandemic. Many families represented here, I'm sure, could tell you awful stories about the way that they have been held apart from loved ones, or they've lost loved ones as a result of COVID-19. Margaret and I, for example, here on the stage, returned to the front line in March of 2020 and had to endure the most quite frightening experiences, and we were completely unable to save the lives of some of the severely ill patients with which we were faced. And the reason for starting the last 2 years in the story and bringing it forward to where you are now is the fact that throughout the early phases of the pandemic, Manchester and many other medical schools and hospitals in the United Kingdom, as well as other institutions around the world, were desperately searching and conducting clinical trials in order to try and experiment with potential therapies to keep people alive. And within 6 months, with a hot internet buzzing globally, with Manchester, for example, recruiting enormous numbers of patients into cohorts for clinical trials, things began to emerge which clearly kept patients alive. And we were able to develop an algorithm which kept a lot of people healthy, saved them from intensive care, and then ultimately the whole of the situation has been radically changed by the development of the vaccine programs. Why have I started this address with this particular part of history? Well, that is because many of our students actually helped out in various guises, both on the wards with premature graduation, and again, I'm sure Margaret will have more to say about that in a moment. And others, of course, helped with the diagnostics and of course many other community tasks. And that is the beauty of Manchester. You found ways to help us and help society, and that must be ingrained in part of the culture that actually you'll take out of Manchester to wherever you go in the world. Shortly, when you turn out from being a graduand to a graduate, you will join over 500,000 alumni. You will have the reputation of this university behind you, and we know full well that employability is definitely enhanced by having a degree from this university. We're extraordinarily proud of every one of you, as I've said already. We're extremely grateful for your contributions to the community, and of course, we are extraordinarily proud to have worked alongside you. And of course, we're here to celebrate your graduation. You yourselves should applaud yourselves. You will have time in a minute to whoop and yell. We'll come to that in a moment. But this is a party. We will ingrain the history of degree ceremonies from this university, which goes back nearly 200 years, with 2022 ways of celebrating your achievements. And all of you should be intensely proud of what you have come to and why you are here. Now, I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to ask the designated speaker, Professor Kingston, to address you, and then we will lay out the rules for how this will take place. Thank you.
Well, welcome to you, our graduates from classes of 2020 and 2021. It is so wonderful to welcome you at last to your graduation ceremony. You are a unique group of graduates. You have endured all the changes that happened to your education during COVID, the immense pressures on your studies, on the assessments that you had to work through at that time, and to receiving your degree certificates as you did. Although your time at the University of Manchester was so disrupted and unusual, we know that you are resilient, resourceful, and you are really special to us. And today is a really special day for all of us here too, as we celebrate your graduation with you. Some of you will be medical graduates from 2020 and will remember the early graduation 2 years ago and coming to work with us, those of us working on the COVID wards and elsewhere in the hospitals of Manchester as interim foundation doctors. A new role, something that had never happened before, and what an amazing job you all did. It was the height of the pandemic. We still were learning a lot about a new disease, and you showed such fortitude entering such an unusual workforce and workplace at a time of unprecedented challenge. Thank you. Most of you will have experienced a vastly changed clinical workplace as you've undertaken your placements these last few years. The NHS has adapted repeatedly to the ever-changing demands of the COVID pandemic. We have learnt and changed our medical practice repeatedly over those years, not just when managing COVID, but when needing to manage all patients coming to our hospitals, to our general practices, and now to our vaccination clinics. And it's right that we can pause and be proud of the University of Manchester's contribution to the COVID pandemic response. Many of you worked within health services, directly delivering health care. Many of you volunteered doing the same. Over 450 medical, health and social care students provided voluntary support to NHS workers as NHS supporters, a scheme that was led by one of our fourth-year students at the time. So proud of that. Staff and students raised over £1 million for the COVID emergency hardship funds for students. And doctors and researchers from this university led from the start COVID research, establishing effective treatments very early in the pandemic. When we were working, Professor Hegarty and I, down the road at Manchester Royal Infirmary, our aim was that everybody who came in with COVID was offered research to be able to contribute to learning about this new disease and how to save lives as quickly as we could. We had this algorithm of many, many clinical studies that we were able to offer our patients, and that was led by medics from our university working within our hospitals. It's something to be incredibly proud of. A number of those studies are still running in adapted forms, and the treatments continue to improve and evolve because of some of the research done here every day. So thank you to each and every one of you for the contributions that you have made during a time that was so challenging and uncertain for you. So now just a little bit about the tradition of this university that you are now joining as our graduates. Manchester University was the first civic university, and its history is closely linked to our city's industrial heritage. The Victoria University of Manchester developed out of Owens College, which was founded in 1851, and from 1872 incorporated the Royal School of Medicine and Surgery, which had been formed in 1824 as a medical school owned by doctors. The first formal medical education was in 1814 with the formation of the first School of Anatomy in the provinces. But even earlier than that, doctors at Manchester Royal Infirmary, which was then based in Piccadilly, had started educating medical students in 1793. There is a long and contemporary history of research and innovation. This is where Rutherford split the atom, where the father of modern computing science, Alan Turing, worked on one of the first earliest true computers, and where more recently Gaim and Novoselov have discovered and developed graphene, winning their Nobel Prizes. We have alumni with significant public profiles, including those who in the past have given this address, such as Professor Dame Sally Davis, our most recent Chief Medical Officer, before Professor Chris Whitty, and Sir David Nott, the famous war doctor who gave this address during one of our virtual graduations. But the university does not stand still and look backward. We continue to adapt and to improve. We are unique in having social responsibility as one of our 3 core strategic goals, alongside research, teaching and learning. We have been the top UK university for the past 2 years running for our social and environmental impact. We are the world's leading university in sustainable development. We are the UK's largest medical school, and we pride ourselves on widening participation and our diversity and inclusion agendas being extremely important to us. We're also proud to graduate students, many of whom choose to stay and work in our local healthcare systems. Thank you. So as you embark on your careers, many of you in healthcare, please accept a few thoughts and reflections from me after over 25 years of NHS service as a doctor. Working in healthcare is demanding, physically, mentally and emotionally. And that's often acted out widely in the scientific and popular media, including many TV programmes. It can be a greedy master, and it can take from you a great deal, should you allow it to do that. But practising within healthcare professions is also full of joy, of satisfaction, and of camaraderie. And that camaraderie really did see us through those early days of COVID. It's an amazing privilege to be allowed into people's lives, where you are now able, with your knowledge and your skills, to make an incredible difference to those who are your patients and their loved ones. There is endless satisfaction in your role to be taken from making a difference in clinical practice, in educating others, in making improvements to services, innovating and driving forward research, and developing treatments that will change the lives of your patients in the future. Do not let your satisfying career take you over. Find time for yourself, for your recreation and your development, and your relationships and your rest. These are all crucial and will make you better at your job. Find what you and who you love at work and follow that direction. You will be most fulfilled when you are loving the work that you do. Care for yourself first and care for those around you, and in return, they will be there for you when you need them most. Support and challenge each other so you're able to grow together. And don't ever hold yourself back. Have courage to follow your conviction and take that big step forward, even when it is a stretch. And importantly, as many people will always be looking to you for help and for your time and energy, learn when it's right to say no and how to do so kindly and politely and effectively. So, to conclude, although today we celebrate your graduation, you are only just embarking on a lifetime of learning. Healthcare and science changes rapidly, and that pace of change is accelerating. Just look at our response to COVID. In the past 2 years, we've seen testing, ever-refining treatments, vaccination, amazing surveillance data and management, all in under 2 years. It is incredible. As you leave our esteemed and historic institution and enter a worldwide family of healthcare practitioners, researchers, educators and innovators, you will find that the opportunities are endless. And in all of that, find your niche. Embrace the challenge and the joy of your privileged role. You will all be leaders and followers at different times. But as a professional, your personal leadership will always be needed and respected. Follow your conscience, your values, and trust your intuition. It will never let you down. Your careers will challenge you, but they're also your precious possession, and you alone can determine the path that you will take. Most of all, be kind to yourself, to others, and however tough times may be, remember to take satisfaction from a job well done. Thank you.
Now the party starts. In a moment, Miles will obviously announce all of you. I know you're nervous, but you've only got to get up the steps and down again. And you've got to keep that hat from falling off, but you've got to do a bit of doffing as well. You can make as much noise as you wish, and so can you as well. Good luck. I can see the nerves already, and people are clutching their hats as well. Let's go.
Vice President, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the School of Medical Sciences, Francesca Elliott. Gemma Tamzin Houghton. Rezwana Hussain. Haja Maulud Kawash. And for the Postgraduate Tort Awards, Richard Boyle. Joseph Michael Chain. Lindsay Marie Clark. Amelia Jane Cockle. Sophie Colville. Brian Tinatenda Tsikiti. Fayez Abdel Hamid Faye El Sawi. Rachel Sarah Gartland. Emma Kelly. Kieran Landa. Arusa Mahmood. Nadia Javed Mirza. Samantha Jane Parkhurst. Dushyantha Jinajali Pilapitaya. Manal Noreen Raymond. Rafia Shazad. Dharam Singh Landa. Yen Ja So. Adam Peter Wanstall. Leah Ellen Woodward. And for the undergraduate awards, Aisha A.M. El Kandari. Iman Ibdel Irahman. Chloe Joanne Ablett. Kholoud Walid Abu Taha. Joshua James Adkins. Saadat Ahmed. Naz Anin Akhavan Moimani. Mariam Zahra Ali. Sophie Ashley. Charlotte Nicola Orty. Jennifer Ruth Bailey. Sandor Bako. Rhea Banaik. James Barrow. Simran Bedi. Shreya Belgamwa. Jack Travis Bernard. Marina Helen Tarrant Bolton. Kira Jane Brailsford. Claire Bromley. Thomas James Brooks. Alexandra Harley Brooks. Mark Brown. Alice Louise Burnett. Katie Alice Campbell. Alexia Karamitsos Tiras. Matthew Carney. James Anthony John Cave. Alice Ellen Charles. Maisha Maliha Chowdhury. Claudia Cipriano. Bethan Clayton. Hussein Raj Cochin. Grace Ann Collins. Ashley James Coop. Hannah Mary Coward. Isvi Dawson. Gabrielle Joy Innes Day. Samuel Dent. Rani Hanan Janati. Callum Ian Doherty. Catherine Elizabeth Donald. Harris Dovniak. Lily Fisher Edwards. Benedict Jordan Evans. Jonathan Farmer. Matthew Edward Fieldhouse. Kea Rachel Flick. Marie Elizabeth Gallagher. Miranda Louise Garrett. Abigail Louise Gartland. Emmeline Charlotte Gee. Preeti George Pandef. Adrian Glackin. Matthew James Goff. Martin Anthony Gracias. Phoebe Madeleine Claire Greenwood. Daphne Maria Goody Gunness. Emily Elizabeth Hammond. Abigail May Harding. Morgan Harrison Holland. Eve Rebecca Hawley. David Hay. Jake Higginbottom. Robin Olivia Holland. Nicholas Tom Hearn. Lydia Shadi Eisted. Elias Jameson. Ikra Javed. Lucienne May Jenner. Alice May Jones. Benjamin Thomas Jowett. Aminesh Kanikta. Navjot Kaur. Rebecca Emily Keating. Emily Patricia Keevy. Ethan Joseph Kelsall. Mohammed Zian Khan. Aisha Hafsa Khan. Ali Martin Kia. Lucy Phoebe Kirkpatrick. Panayotis Kushi. Zara Layden. Rosie Laust. Georgina Lewis. Lyndon Lowe. Sirat Laudi. Cameron Alexander Lynch. Jack Lyon. Chuk Ming Ma. Matthew James Madden. Rohi Brigitte Malik. Imajit Singh Manak. Ria Seema Mawaha. Fiona Mavor. Daniel McLaughlin. Charles McVickers. Sarah George Forcrew Tidors Michael. Lydia Alice Miles. Bryony Milroy. Mariam Mohammed. Francesca Lily Morgan Slader. Roxana Moskalu. Paula Muslego. Ferhan Munib. Rebecca Naish. Peng Yun Ing. Christina Nikolatepoulou. Prajakta Padeshi. Constance Sarah Helen Peterson. Hannah Safina Petriaho. Kieran Poland. Matthew Polden. Jenny Kwang. Matthew Rabin Smith. Hamza Rafiq. Omar Jahangir Rafiq. Natalie Claire Rahlenbeck. Maria Salima Rahman. Yanish Ramphul. Millicent Amanda Rayner. Kitty Mohajer Reid. Laura Rico Hernando. Katie Robertson. Sanjeet Sahajpal. Tarin Jodi Sadel. Tanvi Samber. Clara Ocean Satentau. Nadia Sati. Matthew Shaw. Jessica Shepherd. Ria Shivum. Laila Saha Siddiq. Ema Nakash Siddiq. Stephanie Ying En Su. Jennifer Small. Lauren Rose Snyder. Emma Francis Soliom. Thomas Springthorpe. Charlotte Louise Summerfield. Maggie Simmons. Wendy Wei Lin Tan. Grace Chin Lei Tan. Seleon Wei Chin Tang. Lucy Victoria Audrey Tew. Charan Kamal Singh Tiora. James Thompson. Zoe Tomlinson. Liam Maximilian Traverse Healy. Chuk Yin Tse. Smarika Tuladva. Aisha Nair Unikrishnan. Suneha Verma. Chloe Emily Vijay Asorje. Adam Eric Walker. Samuel Walker. Lo Wan Ling. Hilary Sophia Rachel Warrens. Sarah Elizabeth Warwick. Hedda Anna Matilda Whitland. Rebecca Wilkinson. Joshua Luke Withers. Mohammed Satir Yahya. Alexander Yao Ming Yan. Amena Zahabi. Alina Zaidi. Zoraise Osham Zubair. School of Arts, Languages and Cultures. I've started, so I'll finish. School of Arts, Languages and Cultures, and for the undergraduate awards, Dominic Quigley. School of Health Sciences, undergraduate awards, Cameron McCormick. And School of Medical Sciences, graduate or postgraduate taught awards, Kimia Jaberi. And for the undergraduate awards, Joe Yap. Edward Murchie.
So now I'm going to ask Professor Kingston to come back, and you'll understand why in a minute. Margaret?
Thank you, Professor Hegarty. So at the back of your orders, you will find the affirmation that we invite those people entering healthcare professions to make on their graduation day. Today we're going to make a combined affirmation. So I'm going to invite everybody who is graduating in one of the healthcare professions, so medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, nursing, or physician associate studies. If you would like to stand and take a combined affirmation, I will read each line for you to follow. Would you like to stand? I affirm that I will make the care of my patients my first concern. Treat every patient politely and considerately. Respect patients' dignity and privacy. To listen to patients and respect their views. To give patients information in a way they can understand. Respect the right of patients to be fully involved in decisions about their care. Keep my professional knowledge and skills up to date. Recognise the limits of my professional competence. Be honest and trustworthy. Respect and protect confidential information. Make sure my personal beliefs do not prejudice my patient's care. Act quickly to protect my patients from risk if I have good reason to believe that I or a colleague may not be fit to practice. Avoid abuse of my position. Work with colleagues in the ways that best serve patients' interests. In all these matters, I will never discriminate unfairly against my patients or colleagues, I will always be prepared to justify my actions to them. I so affirm. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, Professor Kingston, and thank you. So, in this short time, you've gone from a graduand to a graduate. Congratulations. Now I'm going to ask all of you graduates if you would kindly stand. It's a bit of a challenge, I have to say. This is the third ceremony I've been involved in today, and each time we've asked the graduates if they would applaud their teachers to start with, and I'd ask you now to pay them back. Impressive. Best of the day so far. Now I'd like you to turn to your family, your supporters, your loved ones, and thank them for all that they've done in getting you to this situation. Not bad. Now I'm going to ask family, friends and supporters to stand and applaud your graduates. Best of the day. Congratulations. Well, all that's left for me to do now is to declare this ceremony closed and to wish you a partying evening. Good night.